Thank you. First of all, I would want to share the same plight with Prof and Mr. Nii
Okay.
in terms of the fantastic job that has been done in the budget, and also in terms of niching the gaps, that is required, economically speaking. If you look at last year, would categorize it as a very difficult year. It came at a time where two major policies took place: the unification of exchange rates, and as well, the removal of fuel subsidy. So this event have really saw to the, hike in the inflation figures, which, translated into, increase in the cost of living and whatnot. So people really got subjected into serious hardship and difficulties. So it's typical for the layman to start wondering what these figures means and how it would impact on the livelihood of ordinary Nigerians. Well, figures are indications that depicts reality. And you see, by virtue of what we have on ground, is something that I would say it's quite phenomenal. For the first time in the history of this country, we are allocating this much to, capital projects, which would translate into infrastructural, enhancement in the country. So by virtue of that, it would unlock and unbundle a lot of productive activities in the country.
Okay.
Production would be there, and once our productive capacity is enhanced...
What are some of these productive,
Agriculture is one of it, small and medium scale enterprises, and also the solid mineral also is another aspect that the government is seriously looking at. So once we unbundle all of these things, in addition to revamping, and re-enhancing the agricultural sector, this would go a long way in putting food to the table. And we have seen the predictions and projections in terms of the projected inflationary figure, which is pegged at 15.75%, which by virtue of what is on ground is something that is likely achievable. For the first time, Nigeria is able to have refined our product. Not, we are trying to stop, to close that gap in terms of importation of oil, refined products into the country. So there will be the over-reliance on, forex, to import all of these products into the country. That gap is being niched out. So this would go a long way, in stabilizing the currency, plus the productive, capacity enhancement that we are looking at. That would also ensure that there's a lot of export, goods, which will invariably, translate into yielding, more forex, more inflow into the country, thereby improving the overall, exchange rates in the country. And that would also translate into improving the inflation figures also, because no doubt, exchange rates are, directly correlated to inflationary figures, in any economy. So once we're able to solve all of these things, that would translate into a better, livelihood. It will ameliorate the cost of living. And we have seen that, the implementation, of the minimum wage also is something that will see to the realization of it this year. All the 36 states plus the FCT, we hope to see that that is fully implemented. That would go a long way also in cushioning the cost of living for the ordinary Nigerians. And a lot of other things. The healthcare sector, we have seen how the government also in their wisdom trying to also, cover the gaps in terms of the funding by the US aid, the controversial, stoppage of that funding. The government have also included $200 million, to cover up that gap. So all of these things, if you add them up, would translate into, better livelihood. The emphasis, the priority focus on insecurity also would go a long way, because once we are secured, it translates into attracting more investment. Even local and foreign investments will, would likely rise up, so all of that, would translate into the better, livelihood for Nigerians.
Okay, thank